Hello and welcome to a new episode of Convert on Shopify. My name is Pancho Mendiola and today I have a treat for you. I had a conversation with Sunny, which this guy is a true expert in everything optimization, website optimization, performance optimization. So he's a true expert. You can find him on LinkedIn and make sure you can make sure for yourself. And he also has another podcast. I'm attaching all the details in this description. But this was a really interesting conversation because first of all we kept it really 101. Okay, we talked about website optimization, why it's important, and he also gave us five tips that we can start with if we want to get into this website optimization world. I think it was a great episode. I don't want to spoil it anymore, so let's just jump in. Hey Sani, so thanks again for your time. We really appreciate that you're gonna spend a couple of minutes here, teaching and showing us what you know. So first of all, before we jump in, I would like to know a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your background. How did you end up, in the CRO world?
Right. Before I start with that, thank you for the invite. It's a pleasure to be on the podcast. Pancho,
Thank you.
great to meet you, and I'm looking forward to this interview. So yes, my background is about as diverse as it can be with websites, sticking to websites. So not talking about ads and anything that's off-site. So I started as a web developer, WordPress developer 15 years ago. I would say I was a typical, I'm the person who builds it. I don't care about anything else kind of person. Then a job I was CTO at Search Engine Journal, exposed me to a lot of brilliant marketing and SEO people. And then I saw that, you can build whatever you want. If people struggle to use it, if it doesn't serve its purpose, it's not going to matter at all. So that kind of opened my mind to the other side of the internet and websites, not just building them. And everything was different after that. So I moved on to e-commerce conversion optimization. After that, had a job at a Norwegian agency for a few years, and I did a lot of web analytics just the whole time because you have to. And now I landed on something that really I think fits my skill set the best, and that is performance optimization. Luckily, that's what people want these days. So I co-founded a company called Web Performance Tools Inc. And our first product, Perfbud, that's PERFBUD.com, is in early access stage right now. It is a completely different approach to performance optimization. So it fixes performance issues with little or no changes made to the site. So we iron out the page before it reaches the user because of where the platform is hosted. So this is really important with platforms like Shopify, where you don't have a server access where you can clean up everything. You can clean up the theme to some extent, but the apps you don't really control. With this platform, with Perfbud, that is absolutely possible. So I believe we're changing the world for the better, as everyone else does.
Awesome. Yeah, we're just talking about that, how Shopify is like a semi-closed, let's say, ecosystem, and sometimes you don't have a lot of control on those kind of aspects. Sometimes it can be good to not have as much control because like you were saying before, right? Somebody approaches to you and says, okay, let's build something. I get that a lot. I also have a development agency and they have an idea, but their idea is not user friendly, or you know all about that. So having it like right in the middle, it's open but not that open. That's an awesome tool. We're gonna leave all the information for the listeners here in the description. So thank you about that.
Think about semi-open
Yeah.
space like Shopify. When you have an app that your user, your website owner needs or thinks they need,
Yes.
if that app is killing performance or anything else, like you're stuck. What are you gonna do? So this
Yeah.
is why this platform tries to limit the impact of that problem.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I would love to like jump in another episode
Absolutely.
into like how it actually works because I'm really intrigued. Yeah.
Absolutely. I would love
Awesome.
to.
Today we're gonna talk about your sweet spot or your expertise, which is website optimization. Tell us a little bit about that and like what is it and why is it so
Right.
important, especially right now?
So what it is to me, it's really leaving no stone unturned on your website, like figuring out where the issues are, where the problems are, where users are struggling, where Googlebot is struggling when crawling your website. So you can't leave anything to chance, really. You have to identify every problem that exists and everything that can be improved, and then decide what you want to improve first. So to me, that is what website optimization is. And that could be UX, CX, copy, performance, conversion optimization, every single touch point that a human or even Googlebot or other crawlers have with your website on their journey. It needs to be optimized. It needs to be as good as it possibly can be. So just to try to recap, website optimization is everything, because if you're just focusing on one thing and everything else is getting worse or not getting fixed, what kind of effect is that going to have, right?
All right. So it can be like graphics, it can be copywriting, it can be, like buttons and where they are, and like UX, UI, everything in
It's
between.
really anything. And this is, I'm very passionate about that because, because I was a developer, when you're releasing a website to the public, if you're if it's something you should be ashamed of, it shouldn't be out there. Like, you should cover everything. It's never going to be perfect, but it should be close enough to perfect. So that's why copy, CX, UX, all that stuff. So, everyone knows the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, right?
Yeah.
And that says that, just 1% better every day in a year makes you like 37 times better after a year, and 1% worse makes you 97% worse after the year is over. So that's what the approach to website optimization should be. Not like, let's redesign everything because we don't like it. Not that's silly. That doesn't make sense, because it's not based on data, it's not based on anything, it's based on your emotions towards the website. But if you really try to take a data driven approach and try to make one thing 1% or 5%, whatever, better, and that can be conversion rate, that can be how you handle your stock, that can be whatever, with Shopify websites. If you just focus on making small things better, marginally better every day, in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years, you will have a lot of success with your website. And if you don't, if things get worse, for example, you add some third-party scripts to slow it down, or you change to a theme that you haven't tested, stuff like that, you are going to have a lot of problems and maybe even be out of business. And another thing is, even if you're not doing anything, even if you're staying where you are, the internet changes, the mindset of people changes, your competition is going to improve. So by staying the same, you're going to end up losing anyway. So the only way to stay in business is optimization, continuous optimization.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. If you stay static, the train just
You're
leaves,
done.
and yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, that what you said about anything, including like inventory and those sort of things. I think people tend to think that marketing is everything that goes like outwards towards the client or potential user. Actually, what I was doing some consulting for this online store, and he hired me for marketing. And I told him, okay, we need to fix your inventory. And he's like, what
Right.
does that have to do with it? I realized that their top sellers were running out, and the buying cycle wasn't as fast. So a lot of people came in, they searched for those products, and they left. And then you have, when they were back in stock, they had like, these spikes in sales. So by
Right.
fixing inventory, we tripled sales, and
But
that's
but
I
that's the thing. That's also website optimization, because you
exactly.
optimize customer experience by
Yeah,
fixing inventory. Like everything that has to do with a website needs to be fixed. Like, it's as simple as that. And anyone who doesn't agree, I'm not gonna say is gonna have a problem with me or you, but it could happen.
yeah. And all right. So what's the difference between performance optimization or website optimization
Website
and
optimization, yeah.
CRO? Yeah.
With website optimization and performance optimization, let's leave that out because it's a subset of
Okay.
website optimization. But website optimization and CRO, it's really, is it not the same thing? Like, sure, there are differences, there are slight differences in how you would define one versus the other, but website optimization, you are creating and maintaining a website that allows as many users as possible to convert. And that could be inventory, that could be copy, that could be speed, that could be customer experience, user experience, all of that, like all of that, that you're just building a framework, a vehicle that lets people convert. Conversion optimization is, like, by default, getting as many users to convert, and not just
Of
convert,
course.
but have higher average order value. So what's the difference there, really? I mean, the definitions could be slightly different, I would say, but to me personally, it's almost the same thing.
It's almost the same.
And
So okay.
yeah, and that's because of the thing you said, because fixing inventory is going to lead to higher conversion rate. It's as simple as that. Fixing all things that could affect conversion rate is website optimization, but it's also conversion optimization. You know,
Of course. Yeah, maybe like the concept of conversion rate optimization is really focused on, testing and like certain aspects of the
right?
of the optimization, and website optimization, like you say, is super broad, right?
That is true. CRO, I think, by definition, is a collection of techniques you use to increase your
Okay.
conversion rate, your revenue, not conversion rate, but revenue. Let's put it that way. So yes, A/B testing is one technique, and prioritization frameworks or like whatever you want. That's part of CRO. But then again, if the goal is the same, yes,
Of
CRO is
course.
just a more scientific website optimization.
Approach.
I don't even know. Like
Yeah.
they're the same to me. Like I said, they're the same to me.
Yeah, the important is the optimization part. So we need to keep improving, and
I definitely agree with that.
yeah, and another example with that, in another store that I manage, we realized that by decreasing the average response time in our support platform, increase our conversion rate. Okay, that's not even within the website. So
Correct.
it's like another platform. We actually didn't even have like a chat or live chat. We just had email and a bunch of other like contact forms like through social media. But just by answering everything and answering fast or as fast as possible, then in the website we got more conversion. So we think that clients are, well, here in at least in Latin America, we're still a little skeptical about e-commerce. We think that
Hey,
everybody is
I'm from Balkans. I'm from Serbia. Don't tell
okay.
me about that. I
Yeah,
know. I know.
yeah, yeah. So we feel that everything is gonna be a fraud and
It's
they're
a
gonna
scam.
take
Yeah, it's a
steal our
scam.
data. So I think with response times, just by making sure that there's another human at the other end of the door, right? That gives them a little boost of confidence, and they go with conversion. All right. So once we've established that what we have to focus in is in optimization, can you share us, like, I don't know, five tips or five things that we need to pay attention? Maybe starting with the low hanging fruit, like where should we start first by order of cost effectiveness?
I'll do my best.
Yeah, yeah, no
But
worry.
it's going to be different, for every website.
Of
So I'll
course, of
just
course.
I'll throw five. If someone's going to have problem with
Your
them
your
not being in the
five
first
favorite
order,
ones, let's
yes,
call it.
let's do that. Let's do. But I did try to keep them ordered by cost effectiveness. So number one for me is you have to find where the biggest leaks are in your website, and that means where your users are dropping off usually. So you can use any web analytics tool, look at your funnel, and look at where your drop off rate is higher than it should be, because it's going to be different in each step, like from homepage to product to cart to checkout. It's not going to be the same everywhere. It's not going to be 25% off everywhere. So you don't have to tackle the highest number, absolute number there, but the one that seems higher than it should be. For example, if drop off rate from starting checkout to completing checkout is 90%, you clearly have issues there. And that's what you need to fix. So the number that stands out, you need to identify it and you need to start fixing that. To me, that is really, you're on a ship that's sinking, even though it's not sinking, but it's slowly go, or not going as fast as it should. Let's put it
Yeah,
that way. And you need to find the biggest issue and the biggest leaks and fix those, because any other, any budget that you throw at the website, ad budget, marketing budget, some of it is going to be wasted. I mean, whatever you do, some way is going to be wasted, but you don't want to waste much of it. That's
yeah,
why you need to fix the biggest leaks in the website first. And yeah, I think that's number one for any website, like without a doubt. It may be cost effective, it may not be cost effective fixing, implementing the stuff, but finding the issue and knowing where it is, hey, Google Analytics, look at the funnel and figure out what's wrong. That said, that's not the whole truth. So number two would be segmentation. Segmentation to me and to anyone really is everything, because you can't just say 46% of my users are dropping from cart to checkout. Yeah, it's 46 of total users, but maybe it's 99.9% of your iPhone users because something doesn't work on an iPhone. So segmentation, it's also a very, cheap way. Like it's a cheap technique. Let's call it that way. You just need to go to analytics apply segments to your data, and just figure out which segment exactly is struggling with a particular funnel step, because it's never going to be the same across all segments. Like it, it doesn't happen like that. So I would say the first two, find where the biggest leaks are, but be more specific, and also apply segments and find not only where on the websites they're happening, but who they're happening with. So you could
Okay.
have mobile users, you could have I don't tablet well, who you, there's not a lot of tablet users anyway, but it could be users from a certain country where you're offending them with a message you have in your website. It could be whatever. You don't have a payment method that they like in their country, something. So you need to find, number one, where in the funnel the drop off is higher than it should be, and number two, what
Which
segment
segments? Yeah,
is
yeah,
yeah,
that
which
makes
segment is
sense.
the one that contributes to that. So those two, you can't even start doing anything without that. Like that's
Okay.
why I put them one and two, and then everything else, I'm not sure it's going to be three, four, and five, but they're going to be in some order, three, four, and
Yeah.
five. So whenever you have new changes, whenever you have a new website, develop a new website, publish a new theme, add an app on Shopify, always try to test the website, and not just test the website on your computer, on your fancy high-speed internet connection, on your MacBook Pro. Try to have devices that your users actually have. And again, this is something you can see in Google Analytics. This is super simple. Just go to the devices report, go to internet connect, what networks they're on, what internet speed they're on, and try to use that speed and try to use that device. And you can buy a secondhand device. Like if, let's say, they're using a cheap Android device, you can buy a device just like that and test it on that device, and make sure you don't break anything, because you don't want to find that out 2 weeks later that you lost a lot of revenue because some app just decided to stop working. So I would say test everything, and test using the device and connection that your users will be on. Don't go crazy like with page speed. Google has emulated Moto G4. I think that's nonsense. No one uses that device anymore. I'm sorry, there must be one person who does, but that's silly. Find your actual users. That you can go to Google Analytics and see which devices they're on, and test with that device. Find broken pages, find slow pages, find broken functionality, find whatever error you may introduce before it starts affecting your revenue and your bottom line. So that's number three. And then number four and five are going to be a little bit less cost effective, but I think they're equally important. Let's say number four is you need to try to know your users as much as possible, because when you build a website, yeah, or install a Shopify theme and set up a website, set up a shop, it's cool. You're gonna like it. Like when you launch it, you're going to like it. You're going to think it's a perfect website for a while, and everything's cool. And then you realize, hey, the conversions are down, even though the website looks better. Well, that's because you haven't really checked the pulse of your users and what they liked, what worked, what didn't. So always, whenever you make some changes, whenever you add new stuff, whenever you redesign the site, whatever you do, try to know your users as well as possible, because that is the key thing. You cannot make them, or not make as like force them, but you cannot push them towards a conversion if you don't know what's blocking them, what's going to stimulate them. So you have to know how they're thinking. You have to know why they're doing the things they're doing, and this is not cost effective, but this is the only way to have a continuously rising conversion rate and
Yeah,
continuously
like even
successful
even the
website.
language, like maybe you say
Absolutely.
certain word, and they don't understand that specific word, or they don't have the full context. How would you say that what's a good way to actually know your customers other than doing heat mapping and stuff like that?
A heat mapping, I guess it works, but ask them. I think ask them, like have a customer feedback kind
Yeah.
of widget somewhere on the website. Go through your customer support emails, because that's going to be a gold mine for what works and what doesn't work. Read reviews online if they talk about your website, social media. Just try to find where they're talking about your website, and that could be your channels, it could be someone else's channels, but get it directly out of them. I think that is
Yeah.
the best way. Have a follow up email after they purchase. Just ask them how was the experience. Offer them like a 2% coupon or whatever. Ask them, like, what did you like about the experience buying from us? Would you buy from us again? Like, and if you can have a survey online to do that, that's great, because it's going to save you time. But if you can just have an actual email not email from the founder, but someone from the company, hey, thank you, welcome to club of, buyers of this website, whatever. If it's coming from a person, they're more likely to respond. I guess that's the thinking. So ask them directly. Just be honest and ask them and tell them why you want that. Because yeah, we live in an era where people are finally waking up to, wanting privacy and all that. But if you just ask a person and be honest why you're asking, they'll tell you so much more than any tracking web analytics privacy violating script will.
Yeah, I agree. And you'll be surprised on how people are willing to share and to give you
Exactly.
their feedback, right? I think we
Absolutely.
were too long also with, with traditional media and traditional companies where we didn't have two-way communication, that now people are eager to collaborate and to speak their minds with companies.
That's very true. And I guarantee you will be surprised by some of the answers because they'll see things the way you are not looking at them at all. Because when you build a website, when you participate in it being designed and developed and then published, you, as John McDonald from The Good says, you're looking at the label from inside the jar, and you can't really read it from there. You have to ask the people who are new to the website what's good about it, what's bad about it, and they will tell you.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah.
Number five,
Right. Yeah.
not cost effective. I'm sorry, but it's
Yeah.
good. But it's good.
It's good.
Usability testing with actual users, with actual. You don't have to. You can use users from your website, or you can use any of the usability testing services, I guess, where you can buy access to users and they will test your website, or you can even have a focus group. They can come to your offices and you can do it there. But usability testing, where you have a scenario, where you have a task for the users, just tell them, I want you to buy black denim jeans, male, this size, this length, whatever, and you tell them that, and then you look at the frustrations they have as they're trying to find how they interact with the navigation, how they interact with the search. So have very specific tasks for the users, and then when they start doing it, you will start noticing things that, and I'm not going to get into the how to's of usability testing. There's a better person for that than me, but if anyone didn't read Steve Krug's book on it, maybe they should. It Usability testing is just such a valuable tool, because even testing with 3 to 5 users, you're very likely to find some issues that you were not aware of, because they're seeing it with different eyes.
All right. All right. Yeah. So can you repeat that book? I honestly haven't read that one.
It's Don't Make Me Think by Steve Krug. You just told me your age because you're young. It's just, it takes less than an hour to read, but I think
Okay.
it came out in 2005, around 2005 maybe. Steve Krug, Don't Make Me Think. It is, to
Awesome.
me at least, was the book that completely messed up my brain, because after I read it, I was looking for problems with everything, and that set me on the optimization kind of mindset and path. Because once you read it, you started looking at, with products, with websites, you started looking at things that are wrong and how they can be fixed. And once that happens, my friend,
Yeah.
everything's ruined for you.
Yeah. No, and I totally agree. I mean, you probably already have heard this. I don't know. I'm a parent, and we think our kids are super smart. And like they say that new generations come with the new chip in play, so they can grab an iPad and a cell phone and
Yes,
just use it. I'm like, okay, yeah. Yeah, your kids are smart, but also the people behind those devices made it so great,
yes,
yeah, that it's super easy to
exactly.
use. It's super intuitive, and I kind of think that we're well. That what this book. I don't know. Maybe it came to my mind, right?
It, yes, it's been a while for me since I read it a few times, but it's been a while. It's really a book about usability, like
Of course.
about usable products and usable websites, mostly about websites, I think. But yes, and yes, new chip and kids figuring out things like, how the hell can let's say a 3-year-old pick up an iPad and do this and swipe a page? Like, why does that make sense? Why didn't I do that with screens when I was a kid? Because I don't know, but they just know. They
Yeah.
sense it, right?
Yeah, I think they just different things, and then one of
Exactly.
them works,
Exactly.
and they're not afraid of we are like as adults, we're always afraid of breaking stuff and making
Oh,
things explode.
100%, 100%. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So five amazing tips. Thank you very much for your time again. Next episode we'll make some time to book it, but next episode it's also gonna be interested, super interesting conversation. So stay tuned. We're gonna keep talking with Sani in the next one again. Thank you very much for your time, and I was really happy to talk to you.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. The good news is that this conversation is not over. We're gonna record actually another episode, and we're gonna talk about other stuff. This was really interesting for me. I hope it was also for you. And just remember that if you want to dig deeper into CRO, conversion rate optimization, and everything about testing and how just to have a better bang for your buck, improve your conversions, improve your revenue, you can go to Convert.com. We have tons of resources there. We have a blog, we have webinars, videos, everything you can think of. We have a lot of information there, and we also post almost on a daily basis. So go to Convert.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.